this thing and ease out on a good note and make it for, we've got a new judge and 2 new magistrates coming in. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for them, financially, administrative-wise, personnel-wise. So we're just trying to do everything we can to finish this thing up. Before we get started, let me call the meeting to order first. Kenny?
I was getting Master Combs out my fix there. Master King?
Here.
Master Barger?
Here.
Master Hughes?
Here.
Master Combs?
Here.
Judge Clark?
Here. Y'all have had a chance to look at the minutes of the last meeting. If there's no changes, a motion will be in order to approve those that submitted.
Make a motion, we change one thing.
Okay.
Larry ain't King and I ain't Larry, so they're on a couple of things.
I probably did. I sent the uncorrected one. What about Roger Hughes? You missed that one.
I'm not, yeah. That sounds normal.
We'll get it adjusted. I've got the,
You mean you won't let me be king for one day?
Yeah, you can.
I'll second the motion.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes? Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Treasurer's report, Glenna?
On your Dropbox, you have the report for the month of October. The balance, our total fund balance on 9/30/2014 was $5,775,552.85. The fund balance on 10/31/2014 is $5,272,142.09. As of the end of October, 10/31/2014, our general fund receipts are at 48.9%. Our expenditures are at 26.8%. Our road fund receipts are at 53.7%, and our expenditures are at 35.8%. Our jail fund receipts are at 38.8%, and our expenditures are at 36.8%. CSEP fund, our receipts are at 27.8%, and our expenditures are at 26.2%. And our 911 fund, our receipts are at 40.5%, and our expenditures are at 29.3%. Everybody's on track. We're on track for the middle of the year. The 65% rule for this year, we're doing good on all that.
Any questions?
Looks like it's good.
Thanks, Glenna. Okay, I've got a request from several court members to add an executive session dealing with personnel again. Hopefully this will be the last one. And I'd also like personnel action included under that when we come out of, I'm not saying we need it, but if we need it, it's there. So would make the agenda legal where we had the authority to do whatever the court decides to do. And probably need to put this in the form of a motion to add it to.
Move. Second.
You have the motion to amend the agenda to add the employee action after. That is the motion.
I'm sorry, what's your question?
We didn't really get a motion. We got a,
Larry made the motion.
we made a motion, but what is the motion?
The motion is to add to the order of business an executive session dealing with personnel.
Okay.
And then also a second item following that would be personnel action.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Okay, before we get started, it looks like we have our new fiscal court members. Reagan, Judge, glad to have you here. Look forward to working with you a little bit. And Tom's here and John's here. And glad you all could come in and see these. I think you all going to some new elected training at KCO, maybe middle of December. 10th, and you'll really enjoy that. They're just a huge, huge benefit for members of the court, and of course they carry all our insurance policies and stuff, and you're really going to learn a lot down there, I promise. Let's go into order of business. Hazardous mitigation program grant. This is something we've been on, Carl, for what, 3 or 4 years now? And Carl is at the point where he wants the wisdom of the court to do whatever on this situation.
So just to refresh everyone's memory, we have been talking about it basically your entire current term. This goes back to the 2010 flood. We submitted the grant paperwork to elevate a home that's in the floodplain that has experienced flooding. We got approval to elevate that home based on all the engineers' estimates of what that would cost to do it right. We bid it out for an engineering firm, and no one bid it. And we all agreed that we would just talk to that engineer who did all the preliminary work for free for us and see if they would submit a bid. Eventually they did, and we accepted that bid. Then we bid out the actual construction project, I'll call it. No one bid it. 2 people said they would bid it, but they needed more time, so we all agreed and we extended it 10 days. No one bid it. So then I talked to one of the people that said they were going to bid it, again, multiple times, as recent as last week. I said, now, if I get the court's approval to do this for a 3rd time, are you going to actually bid it this time? And he says, I promise you I will bid it. I said, what do you think the bid will come in at? And he gave me a figure. And the figure is way higher than what we have in the grant. So I would have to go back to the state and the feds and increase that grant funding if it passed the cost-benefit analysis. I do not know if it will. We are looking at basically adding about 80 grand to the original project, which was under 100 grand by a little bit. So not quite doubling it, but going from 99.8 to 160 or so is what he tells me. So I've got hundreds and hundreds of hours invested in this over the years because of all the paperwork that's required. I want to know, do you want to call it done and we're sorry we couldn't make this happen, or do you want me to seek the additional funding and try it all again?
How much is the property evaluated?
Well, the last paperwork I have for the evaluation shows it at about 2.25. I'm not a professional evaluator or appraiser. I don't know if that's legitimate or if that's artificially high. I cannot answer. But I will do whatever you tell me to do, but whatever we do, if we continue, it won't be done overnight again. I don't think we'll have another 3 years invested in it, but I don't want anyone to think that we'll get this figured out and finished in the next 6 to 12 months, because I don't expect that to be the case. So
This is the only home we have, ain't it?
this is the only home that was interested. Since it's a voluntary program, you have to want to do this. This was the only home that wanted to be elevated. We had many people that wanted us to buy their homes at fair market value and then turn it into a park. And we discussed that when it was current, when we did this project. We all agreed we didn't need little parks all over the county that we had to take care of. So we didn't pursue any of those. So, I've told you everything I know. I've been involved with it from the beginning, and I'll do whatever you think is the right thing to do. The grant is a federal grant that has a federal portion, a state portion, and a local portion. The local portion was going to be provided by the homeowner, so the county wouldn't truly be out any dollars other than the effort and energy that we're putting in it from EMA and fiscal court and things like that.
What happens if we just say we've done all we can do, we just can't do it?
Then the project is done. And obviously we would have an unhappy homeowner because, that's been her home since the 70s. And she's had a lot of energy and effort in this as well, because it's gone on forever. But that would be...
What would their part be, Carl?
The homeowners, her part would be, let's see here, right around $13,000.
Now, is that including the new estimates that you're
No,
looking at?
no, that would go up.
So she understands she's looking probably an 80% increase.
Yeah, she'd be looking at,
Contribution.
right, her contribution would go from the 13% based on the original, let's just call it 100 grand. That will change to 13% of whatever the new magical number is.
180 or whatever.
Right, right.
Have you talked to her about that?
I have.
What was her feeling?
Well,
I just hate to leave somebody high and dry, but that's what she wants, high and dry.
high and dry would be good in this case, Larry. One of the few. She would like us to keep proceeding, but she understands everything that's went on because she's been a very engaged partner. She's been actively involved in this from the get-go.
Can she guarantee to pay her additional amount?
She led me to believe that. I can ask that again
I hate to
and
go
bring
that
it to
far,
next
and
court.
then she say, I can't come up with that much money.
I'll just tell you from the years of experience with her, I don't anticipate that being an issue, but I will confirm it,
Or you might as well talk to her about $200,000.
Yeah.
By the time that you get, if indeed the court wants you to go through the process again, the cost is probably going to double. So you you need to talk to her about her 13% of 200, which $26,000, and
Right.
see how she feels about that.
Okay. And I will do.
Made the motion, Billy Ray seconded to come out of executive session dealing with personnel.
All right.
Next on the agenda is personnel, and at this time, after a lot of consideration and talking with the court members, it's my recommendation that we terminate Dwayne Curry at this time, and I'd ask for a vote.
Make a motion.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Hughes,
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
I abstain. Thank you very much. And this will be immediately, Dwayne. There'll be somebody down at the office to get all your stuff. Okay, comments from department heads?
I've got one.
Carl? Kenny, you got something?
Yep. Real quick, I'm gonna need a motion. We need to amend our budget on overtime. The new voter registration system and the voter drives hit us, and I need to raise the overtime $5,000 on my line in our budget. We just need a motion second on that. Or anybody got any questions? I got all kinds of information here.
Make a motion.
Second.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes.
Are we back on?
Carl?
Microphone back on?
Yep.
I brought this up a long time ago, but I got in the last week the chance to meet with the professor that runs this program in the state from Western Kentucky University. It's called the Mesonet system. It's a weather monitoring system. And the way this program started was initially funded through a federal grant. And that federal grant, as most of them have done, has dried up. So Western Kentucky has been paying for the continuation of the program, and there's 65 of these weather station sites across the Commonwealth. We actually have one here in Madison County. It's out at the EKU farm. What Western's trying to do is find partners to participate in this program to keep it at its current level and continue to grow it. They're looking for a contribution on an annual basis of $5,000 for the system. I told them I didn't know if the current court would feel comfortable putting that kind of burden on the new court coming in, but I did want to bring it to your attention, and I figured you guys would want me to bring it back in January. But I would at least like to get a sense of how you guys feel about the program. It's got a really significant impact in a couple different ways. One for agricultural. This is all the data it collects is online and available to our local community, and it's near real time because it does some analysis of itself to make sure it's right. But it's the closest thing you can get to real time ground truth, and you can look at any one of the 65 sites, and they also archive the data. And then I talked to the National Weather Service, and they utilize this data to give better forecasts now since this system exists in local areas. So I think it is a worthwhile program. I think it's something we ought to consider. And I told them, I didn't see the fiscal court paying the $5,000, but maybe we could form some kind of partnership between the university and Berea College and the three governments, and maybe even some local industry would be interested in it. So I just wanted to put it out there on the table. He only brought me 3 flyers, and I wrote all over mine. But it's they calibrate it. It's maintained well. It self-analyzes. They're solar powered. It's got a lot of good things going for it, and it's a really good system. And we have looked at it as well in EMA for data in the past, since we do have one right here in Madison County out of the 65 sites that exist. So just wanted to put it out there for you guys to be thinking about. And, if you felt like doing something today, that'd be terrific. But if you wanted to wait till, January, I understand that as well. So just kind of. There is a website, yes. Mm-hmm. And, the weather stations do quite a few things. Some of them are a little more advanced, but the one we have out here is pretty awesome at the farm. So.
Let's wait, let the new court, and you can give them an update, Carl,
And he's offered
What's
to.
the time frame on it?
I told him I probably wouldn't get back to him until January sometime. And he's willing to come down if we put him on the agenda in January to talk to the fiscal court and do the same thing with the
And they'll make the new
cities.
court more aware of what's going on and what they're getting into. That'd be a good thing.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Carl. Scott, you got something?
Yesterday, some of you all may have seen on the news, the City of Lexington's recycling facility had its roof ripped off of the staging area where we unload the recycling. Spoke with officials from City of Lexington this morning, and our service for next week's recycling route will be uninterrupted. So we'll be running the recycling route, offloading there, or if we have to find a staging area here to drop it for a little bit before they get back up and operating in the City of Lexington. So everything is on and scheduled for our recycling route next week.
Okay, good deal, Scott. Any other department heads? Leroy, you've already done yours. Comments from magistrates, Greg?
I've been out driving in my area in the 4th District, and I'd like to comment to the road department and tell them what a wonderful job they have done cutting back the sides of the roads and the fence rows, and it just makes our county look so much prettier when you ain't got bushes hanging out in the road, and they've done a wonderful job in doing that, and I appreciate all the employees and the things that they do. Thanks, that's all.
Thanks, Greg. Roger?
Kind of on the same note, the roads do look good, and it's a shame that they can be cleaned up, and within 2 days, there's trash and stuff slung all over the place. And then when Leroy's crew comes through and mows, they chop it up and slings it out in the road. But the good part of it is we do have people that's willing to get out and pick up the trash again, and it doesn't stay there that long until we get it trying to look a little better. But appreciate everybody that works for the county and what they've done for the year, and keep up good work. That's it.
Bill Ray?
Well, I ain't gonna brag on Leroy. He's had enough bragging on already. So I'll brag on Mr. Seifert over there and fixing us up for Christmas and the work that he does. And he's passionate about the history of Madison County, and it is very rich history. And we're just glad that you're here to help keep it alive. So thank you for what you do.
Everything looks good outfield, really does. Larry?
Well, I can't pass up the opportunity to thank Leroy for what he's done and the crew that he has down there. And I've been here 33. I don't know how long Leroy's been here, probably longer than me. But I'll say this about him. I've never called that he didn't answer the phone. I mean, I'm talking about 2 and 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Because it's you.
Well, it might be because it's me, but it's because he loved his job.
He probably thinks you want to go fishing.
Well,
That might be what it was.
may have a little to do with it, and his last day, I think, is the 1st. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Well, I want to wish you the best, and yeah, I'm available anytime, but it'll have to be a warmer place. But Leroy, I want to thank you for what you've done, and I know we're going to miss you. I can tell you that. This county will miss you. I hear that every day in my travels like Greg.
More than they know.
Yeah. But thank you for your service. And other than that, just glad to be here, Judge. I'm waiting on you.
Glad you're here, Larry. Comments from the audience? Anybody? New magistrates want to come up and say something? Okay, next
sorry,
court
yes,
date.
sir.
We are going to have 2 court dates. There won't be a lot on the agenda in December, and that is to get the bills paid. With the new fiscal court, we want everything in ship-shape condition when they come in. So next court date will be December the 9th on Tuesday. And with that, a motion to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Thank everybody for coming in. Motion to adjourn.